This is the DTF hack you've all been waiting for. We are going to test everything that we possibly can to see what we can apply the DTF transfers on. A few weeks back, I asked you guys, what do you want to see me apply the DTF transfers on? And you guys showed up and showed out. There were so many requests. We can't get to all of them. It would take so long to do them, but if you guys enjoy this video, let me know in the comments below and we'll definitely do a part 2. A few things that you guys highly requested was wood, canvas, tumblers, glass. You guys wanted to see it on hats, colored t-shirts, black t-shirts, all sorts of fun things. So let's go ahead and get started. To test all of these out, we were gonna need to use multiple heat presses. So to accomplish this with ease, I'm gonna be using this 3-in-1 heat press by PYD Life. So here in a minute, we're gonna transform it into a tumbler press as well as a hat press. Project number 1, we're gonna jump straight into a dark item. This is a pillowcase, so we had a request for pillowcase, but we also had for darker items. So this right here is almost black. It's like a charcoal gray. So it is on the lighter end. Whenever it comes to a solid black, it will blend in. So whether you're talking about a black sweatshirt or t-shirt, tote bag, it's just gonna really blend in there and look like a tone on tone. It doesn't matter what colors you use, it's gonna become black if you will. But if you do want to press it on something, you wanna put it on something lighter like this. So this is a light gray. So I thought this will be perfect to test out. Not to mention, we're doing a 2-for-1. Dark and a pillowcase. So I've got this really cool pillowcase here. Everything I'm using today, I'll have linked below. For our designs, I had to do its freaking bats. How cute is this going to look onto this pillowcase? So all we need to do is tape it down. So you guys know with these DTF transfers, there's nothing to hold it. So we want to tape it just like you would sublimation, right? So we're going to go ahead and get a couple pieces of tape. If you guys are new to my DTF hack, make sure you guys check out my other videos. We have lots of hacks using your sublimation or inkjet, as well as using parchment paper instead of film. Now to save time, I went ahead and printed all of these, powdered them, cured them, just to make it a whole lot easier. Now that I have my tape on here, we're just going to get it right under our press. I have it set at 300 degrees for 40 seconds as usual. I cured it at the 385, so I don't have to worry about that. If you're not gonna cure it, you're gonna wanna press it at 385 for 40 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover this with parchment paper, just in case I got powder on top. And now we're gonna go ahead and press it. For this first one, it's actually gonna be pressed at 385 for 40 seconds because when I set the temperature to bring it back down to the 300 degrees, because I was using the 385 to cure, I totally did not hit okay. So it was still flashing waiting, so that's okay. It'll start to slow down as I get to the next one. With this press, it actually starts to beep a few seconds early just to warn you it's getting ready. We're gonna pop it open. I may have that a little bit too tight, but hey, it's better than not enough. We're gonna move that out of the way. If you guys are new to the DTF hack, make sure you guys pay attention whether it is a cold or a hot peel. So this one in particular is a cold peel, so you wanna let it completely cool down before you try to peel it. You can do things to speed it up by putting it down on your granite countertop or using like a cooling stone or even like a cooling eraser to speed up that process. If not, it takes around 2 minutes to completely cool down. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and peel and see what we got. As you guys can see, it came out absolutely perfect. The only thing that I would change is my pressure so I can see the marks from my heat press. So I've already brought my pressure down because I don't want to do that to the next item. But as you can see, the black on the charcoal gray here looks great. Colors would also look good on here too, but I think these colors here together looks amazing. Project number 2 is a colored t-shirt. So another question I get all of the time is, can we apply these transfers to a colored item? You know, a colored sweatshirt, t-shirt, whatever it may be, a canvas tote bag. Yes, you can apply it to color. You want to stick to a light to medium color. So this one right here is really good. This is a Gildan Soft Style blue, and this will pop on here. You'll still be able to see it. It'll look great. Now keep in mind, if I had blue in this design, I have a little bit of light blue here, more of like a mint, but if I had a blue that was similar to the shirt, that would kind of fade off into the t-shirt. So pay attention to your design and have opposite colors. So I've got purple and orange here as well as black, and you're going to be able to see those, which you'll see in just a second. With t-shirts, you're gonna wanna make sure that you have pre-pressed this as usual, lint roll it, and do all of that. I'm just gonna go ahead and find the center here, just figure out where I want this to be on my t-shirt. I've added 2 pieces of heat tape, and this design right here is actually bigger than my press. Now keep in mind, you can use your Cricut Easy Press, you can even use a mini Cricut Easy Press. The small ones, you can use your home iron. Those are other questions I get. If you're gonna be using that mini Cricut Easy Press or a home iron, make sure you cure it first. Once again, if you're new here, go back and watch my previous videos. I even show you how to use a griddle from the kitchen to cure these. So you would be able to do it with a griddle and a home iron. I've got it on the iron. I've got a little piece that's not going to fit. So here in a minute, once I press it the first time, I'm going to scoot it backwards and we're going to press it again. So I'm going to cover it with that parchment paper. Another reason why I would use the parchment paper is because whenever I go to lift this up, I don't have to stress about it pulling this off too early because it has to be a cold pill. Here we go. I'm going to carefully lift it. We're not going to pill it. I'm going to be very careful and shift it up. I've recovered it with that parchment and we're going to press one more time. Here we go again. I'm going to lift it, move that parchment, and I'm going to carefully remove this from the platen. Same thing, I'm going to flip it over to speed up the process. I'm just going to smooth it out. Let's check it out and see what we got. Check out how awesome this is. Now this is a little bit of a darker color, but you can still see the design. If you are going to be bleaching this, I do highly recommend that you bleach out your spot first, completely wash your t-shirt, and then apply your design. You don't want to apply bleach on top of your design here with the transfers because it can destroy that. So I highly recommend bleach your t-shirt first and then apply that transfer after it's already been through the wash and all of those things. So this is a soft style, so you could definitely bleach those, and this area would be white, but I think it pops off of colors still very, very nice. So if you want to know what does it look like on colors, here you go. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up just a little bit, just showing you the different areas. You can see what the orange looks like on top of the blue. So remember, with sublimation ink, there is no white ink. Something else I wanted to show you that is awesome is you can print multiple designs on one sheet. Now with sublimation, I would want to make sure this is going to go on a slate. We have glass here, we have a hat. Those are all different substrates, so we would want different settings. But because it's a hack, it's the DTF transfers, I don't need to do that. I can apply all of these on the exact same sheet. So this is like a gang sheet that they say in the DTF world. So I'm really excited. So now let's go ahead and try to press this on a slate. Here is our slate. If you guys have not seen, these are very popular right now with sublimation. So this one here is actually made for sublimation. I could sublimate on this. These are also from that PYD Life. I'll have them linked down below. It comes with these stands. These would be perfect to gift to somebody this holiday season. Now, if you guys have also been following me here on the channel, this is my dog Missy. I actually lost her this year. She was 14 years old. She was my baby. So it has been extremely tough. So I thought today we would go ahead and do like a little memorial type thing and press this up. For this one, I'm not going to use the traditional slate settings or anything like that. I'm going to make sure my press here in a second is going to, just have some pressure. I just need this to bond on here. So the settings for everything we're doing here today are going to be the exact same. 300 degrees for 40 seconds, unless you do not cure this. Once again, if you're new, definitely check out my other videos to learn what curing and not curing is. You guys would press it 385 for 40 seconds. Now what I'm simply gonna do is just lay this right on top, just like that. I'm not even gonna tape it down, honestly, because it's gonna stick in a second. I'm gonna get it up here, cover it with parchment. If you wanted to tape it, say for example, my design's a little bit bigger, I can tape it from the back side, but it's not gonna move. This honestly, since it has like a grip on it because of that, the powder, it's holding itself in place. So I'm gonna set it up here very carefully. We're going to cover it with parchment. All right, and then we're going to try to press it. Let's see if it'll close on us. So we're going to open it up. Perfect. While this is wrapping up, I brought in my Cricut pad to be able to put that on there because it's going to be super hot. I've got my gloves. This one's going to take a little bit to cool down, so I'll probably set it aside. Now I'm just going to take it and set it down here on my pad. What I'm going to do is take my heat gloves just to be safe, and I'm going to rub this down to get that adhesive to really stick to my slate. This is the first time I've ever done a slate, so I really want to be safe. And I want to make sure that it's getting stuck to the edges. So I'm just going to go around all the edges and then just pushing everything down. Another thing you can do is take a squeegee like this that has the little Velcro, and then you can take and go like this. Something to keep in mind with a DTF hack is it's a DTF hack. So we're not doing anything traditional. You're basically going to do whatever works best for you. Once again, to cool this down a little bit faster, I'm going to set it down on my granite. So I'm going to set this one out of the way and we'll be right back. While the slate is cooling down, we're going to move on to two other projects. We are going to try out this glass ornament. That was another request, as well as an acrylic keychain. Now with these acrylic keychains, they're not made for sublimation, but I have sublimated on them in the past. I've done videos on those. I'll try to link it down below if you're curious about it, but we're going to try to press it today. So I've got that and the glass. Let's do the glass first. So the design that I'm using for that one is this one. Hopefully I'll put it on this white so you can see. It's actually one of those newer 3D designs. It is awesome. So I am going to just make sure my glass is nice and clean. Normally with glass ornaments, we press from the back side. You don't mirror the design so you can see through it. But for this one, I'm going to apply it on the front. You could do whichever way you would like. I just didn't know how the adhesive would look through the back. In the meantime, really quick, I'm going to pump this back down. Whenever you adjust your pressure, just make sure you're safe with your glass so you don't crack it. You can use something like this little green pad here. I'll have it linked down below. This is made for pressing glass and ceramic. For items like this, I just take a piece of parchment paper. I'm going to put it on the inside. I'm going to put that pad, and then I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half again and get it underneath the press. Now we're going to carefully press it. I may need to adjust once again. All right, so we're going to pop it open. Carefully remove it. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did with the slate. I'm going to go ahead and use my heat gloves here, or you can use that squeegee just to really get that adhesive to kind of squish down and bond with the glass. Now I'm going to set this one aside and let it cool. Next up is our acrylic blank. I want to remove any sort of film or paper. So some of these just has a clear transparent film. Make sure you guys remove that before you actually press it. Same thing, we're just gonna make sure it's clean. Showing you guys on that white background right there. There's our design. How cute is that? We're gonna do the same thing where it's sandwiched in between. So I'm gonna get it in here. For this one, I'm not gonna worry about the green pad. And then we're gonna go ahead and press it. I need to bring that pressure up just a bit, so I'm gonna do that. Perfect. 300 degrees for 40 seconds. One thing to keep in mind with the acrylic is you could cut out after the fact. Once it's completely cooled down, you could apply a circle of white vinyl on the back to get it to pop, or you could add some white paint, and that's also going to help intensify the colors of your design. Here we go. We're gonna pop it open, set this out of the way. Now, whenever it comes to acrylic, this one did not have a whole high heat. Whenever I sublimate them at such a high heat, like 385, usually you wanna put something heavy on there to keep it nice and straight, because sometimes they wanna buckle. But with that 300 degrees, I'm not having any issues. Let's come back to the glass ornament first. So we are going to get a corner here. I could see a little piece. You guys can see that over there where it wants to come up. Just a little bit, but everything else was a success. So for this, you're going to want to be careful with those edges. If I wanted to press it one more time, that would go right back down. Let me show you on this white canvas here. See how that pops? So once again, you can add a piece of white vinyl to the back, or you could paint the back, and that's really going to get that to pop. You could add the kids' photos on here. If I had a sublimation printer, I would just sublimate this. But if you're going to be using an inkjet printer or your pigment inkjet printer, this is a hack that you could do to get away with something like sublimation. This almost feels one with the glass. It's very, very smooth. So it's really, really cool. So, but like I said, if it was me personally and I had a sublimation, so for example, how I am using the DTF hack with my Sawgrass SG500, I would just simply sublimate these. Our slate is not ready yet. It's still cooling down, so you guys don't go anywhere. We are almost ready for this one. Just to go ahead and show you guys a few samples of some things that you requested to see as well that I've already done, and I thought, you know, you just want to know simply if they can be done. I'm just going to show you, yes, they can. So for example, this is a canvas zipper bag. This one here, I did an edge-to-edge design. I actually did this one over on Sawgrass's channel. I'll try to link it down below in case you guys want to see this one. So this one was pretty cool. I did a bigger design, so it actually came off the sides, and then I just trimmed around, so it was able to be an edge-to-edge. How awesome is that? So make sure you check that one out or try it on the zipper bag. So anything on the canvas, it looks awesome. This one here, I can't remember. I want to say that I did this one with the inkjet printer. This is not something that is going to be washed, so your colors are going to stay on here. But if it was a washable item, they're not going to stay. If it was black inkjet ink, it will, because it's pigment ink. If your inkjet printer has pigment ink versus dye ink, those inks will stay as well. The only thing about that one is you have to work super fast. I mean, faster than you should be. I mean, it is so fast that those inks dry, so it's still a really hard one. I will always recommend using a sublimation printer over an inkjet or a pigment ink because you are going to get a 100% dupe for the DTF transfers. Sublimation ink with the powder, it just instantly becomes a DTF transfer. It is amazing. So I truly do believe it's pretty much 100% a dupe. So if you really want to do this and especially sell them, or you're making the items to sell, I would definitely stick with sublimation ink. One last tote bag. I do believe that we also did this one with the inkjet printer, but it is colored ink. We're not going to be washing it, and it came out amazing. So the one thing to keep in mind is his eyes right here, they were like a mint color, so they do blend in with the fabric. So where you guys are always asking me about the colors, I say to pay attention to your design, just as I was talking about earlier, so it doesn't fade off. But I think it looks completely fine because where I put it on one of these lines, it just looks like it was supposed to be made like that. So that's just something to keep in mind. Coming back to our acrylic blank, it peeled off like a dream, but the problem is it just basically melted off. I'm going to put that on a white background just so you guys can see that there. So on the acrylic, it was a fail. I do believe that our slate is cooled down enough to peel, but one thing I'm noticing as I'm trying to peel is the sides trying to lift. This has nothing to do with the adhesive that's sticking to the slate. This is very similar to the zipper bag that I showed you a while ago. Whenever you do a design that comes on the outside of something, I highly recommend that you take your scissors and trim off as much of that as you can, because that will prevent any sort of peeling. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go from the back side, take my scissors, and I'm going to go all the way around. Now very carefully and slowly, so I don't end up with any edges, I'm going to try to get one area going. I'm going to carefully peel this up. Oh my gosh, it was a success. It looks so gorgeous. It feels so, so good. Now once again, if I had a sublimation printer, I would just use the sublimation ink. I mean, there's no reason to do the DTF hack or a DTF transfer on slate that is made for sublimation. If you have the sublimation printer, just do the sublimation. It's going to pop off even more anyways. But for an example, this shows you that if you were going to apply it on something like a ceramic tile that was not made for sublimation, like the ones that we use for ornaments, or if you went to Lowe's and got something like this, or if you were going to be putting it on a plate, anything that did not have a sublimation coating, but it was like a ceramic, it's going to work. So you guys know that here, it obviously was a success. You just want to be careful with those edges to prevent it from peeling. Get as close as you can, get a spot going, being very careful going around that, and it was a complete success. If you guys have an inkjet printer or the pigment ink, this is going to be a perfect hack for you to accomplish something that looks like sublimation. Once again, if you had a sublimation printer, just do the sublimation. But did it work? Yes, it did. For the rest of the video, I'm going to leave Missy right here so she can hang out with us. Now, let's go ahead and switch over to the tumbler press. It is so easy to connect this. You're just going to disconnect this cord, which is right back here. I know you guys can't see it. And then we're going to connect this piece. On my machine over here, I can see the time. I know once again, you guys can't, but so far it's at 2:14. So let's go ahead and prep up our cup. So this is heating up. I can kind of carefully feel that. And I know we are going. Once again, I've already tested out the pressure. We'll adjust it again here in a second for the tumbler because we're going to do that as well. All right, so you just want to make sure that your glass is nice and clean of any sort of oil or debris. I've already printed off my wrap right here. I'm gonna use this cup holder that I got from Temu. If you guys have not seen that haul, check it out as well. So I'm gonna actually put my design somewhere right about in here, and then I'm going to set my tumbler on top just so I can kind of see where that's going. I'm gonna set this back down in here, and now I'm going to hold it nice and tight and get me a piece of tape. So you just simply wanna make sure your design is nice and tight. Check out this wrap. It went all the way around, absolutely perfect. I'm really excited to see what this is gonna look like. You guys let me know in the comments below, do you guys think this is going to be a fail or is it going to be a success? We are at 300 degrees. I'm going to set this in here with that back piece down, and I may have to press it twice. I'm gonna press it in here just like so, and then close it. I think I will rotate it for another 40 seconds because there is the most minute piece that we can see. In order to start this timer, we're just going to close this, and that way our timer can start going. I'm gonna get ready to rotate this. I'm gonna go ahead and lift that now because it had like 2 seconds because I had already started. So I'm gonna carefully rotate this, hoping it's not gonna shift on me because I didn't think about how that would work either. We're gonna close it. All right, so let's go ahead and lift this, pop this open, and then we're going to set this down. Now I can see a little buckle here from my paper, so we're gonna see how that's gonna work. I don't know how that's going to work. I wonder if I could go ahead and do like we've done. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna take this to get it to hold that adhesive down right there where it kind of buckled on me from where we had that one spot. I have such high hopes for this. I really, really hope it works. I'm gonna go ahead and set it down here and let it just speed up the process of cooling down. In the meantime, let's go ahead and prep up our tumbler. For this one, I actually printed it on the bigger 11 by 17 because with the sublimation printer, I try to keep my ink away from the top of the sheet because if you don't, that's where I have had issues. Now, if you guys have an Epson printer, I've seen a ton of comments on roller marks and all of that. There is a ton of people that own the Epson printers. They are over on TikTok and they are figuring out. There may be some YouTube shorts as well, but I've noticed that it's the short form. So if you go over on TikTok and you type in the DTF Hack for the Epson printer, or even just do, you know, DTF Hack Epson, or even the roller marks or whatever, people are showing the solution. A lot of people are removing the rollers from their Epsons, and then also I've seen people put wood or even cardboard. So where they're putting it is right here. So they'll butt it all the way up against to where the roller marks are, and it's actually setting all the way across here. And what it's doing, so the reason why the roller marks are happening is when it's starting to come out, your paper starts to bend a little bit, and that apparently is what's causing it. So you wouldn't have to remove your rollers if you did it with the cardboard. But once again, I haven't done that personally, but there is a ton of people that have. Check out how awesome this is. This is by Maple Dot Designs. You guys know she's one of my favorites. This is an edge-to-edge design, so I thought this would be perfect to try out. All right, so here we go. We're gonna do the same thing. I'm going to make sure my tumbler is nice and clean. So in the meantime, I'm gonna remove these gloves. Why I've kept them on this entire time I was cutting, I don't know. I'm so excited for this one too. I'm not gonna lie. These two right here, the Libby glass and the tumbler, have got to be my favorite to try out today. So as you can see with this full wrap design, you're just lining it up. How cool is that? It makes it perfect. So see how that lightning bolt's gonna just line up? So we are going to, and I'm hoping I'm not gonna have that same like buckle issue. So I'm just making sure I'm pulling nice and tight. One thing you can do is get it on one side and then pull and get it over. So I'm gonna go ahead and get another piece of tape down here. There we have it. We have our wrap all the way around. How exciting is this? I'm so excited for this. I really hope it's gonna be a success. Once again, I do have this little bit at the top, so I'm probably gonna be very careful when I peel that so I don't get any tears. I would 100% not put this in the dishwasher, hand wash it, but I'm really also curious if you did this and then you applied epoxy on top. Just saying. Now, if you have a sublimation printer, you wouldn't need to do that once again. But if you were doing this with the DTF Hack, you're technically not washing this in the washer. So if you did this and then you coated it with the epoxy, like I said, or hand wash it, you should be good to go. Something I want to do different this time too is let's wrap this and see if that will help prevent. You could do it with parchment or paper. Just grab a piece of sublimation paper. I'm going to apply 2 pieces of tape, and I wonder if this would help. It would, same with the Libby glass, with preventing that buckle that we're getting. All right, so I'm gonna push. We're good. All right, here we go. So we're gonna go right inside I'm going to press it, and I may even bump up my pressure. Okay, perfect. I just need enough where it's obviously heating up that adhesive. All right, perfect. I'm gonna shut this, so it's gonna go for the 40 seconds. Here we go, we're gonna lift it just like that. Open this up, and then I'm going to rotate very carefully. I should have put it in on the other side. I'm gonna rotate it just like that, and we're gonna shut. What I usually try to do is put my opening of my tumbler so I have access to do that. If you guys have been doing tumbler wraps, you guys already know what I'm talking about. So I can already see that my paper is trying to do that little pinch. And it may be that maybe I'm doing, I would say too much pressure, but I don't think so. Once again, when it comes to a DTF hack, we're just doing it, right? It's one of those things, I get questions all the time too. People will be like, well, why? Why are you doing it? Because you could just sublimate. But the question is, can you, right? We're here. We're like science up in here. We like to be crafty, and we want to know if it can be done. And CrystalAnn is going to waste the material and the money to try it, right? Because why should you do it if it's going to be a fail? I definitely want to make sure I'm saving you guys money. I don't want to ever tell you guys to go out and buy all the supplies and then it's a fail. Let me do it first. Let me save you the time. All right, here we go. So we are going to pull this out. Once again, I'm going to completely let it cool down. Before I swap out the hat press, I wanted to show you guys one last thing. With this one, it does have the pull-out drawer. So if you guys are curious about it, in case you guys are interested, it does have the pull-out drawer. So while that heats back up, let's check these out. They're completely cooled down. Last time to comment down below whether you think these are going to be a fail or success. Now that I've got all my tape, let's go ahead and peel. Let's check it out. So I've got one piece there popping up. I have definitely lost that one right there, so I'm going to be careful to unhook it. So it looks like we could possibly very carefully get it back down. But so far, I just have to say, I think it's a fail. I mean, you can see so many of those pieces. This stuff's going to just wash right off. Just because it worked successfully on the glass ornament does not mean it's going to work across the board on all glass. So that's something to keep in mind. Once again, it's a hack, so we don't know until we try them. So this one right here is a complete fail. Here we go. While I get ready to undo this, I'm going to start cutting these little pieces here. You guys comment down below. Since that failed, we've lost the acrylic keychain, we've lost the Libby glass. Are we going to lose the tumbler as well? So we do not know. This is our first piece of metal, I think. Hopefully I did not just accidentally cut into the design. I'm going to carefully peel off the paper. That little piece of paper was trying to stick to that. And now, one thing I have found with this too, because the way we need to tear it, is my tape is a hot mess. The way that I taped these, I have to go back and unpeel them one by one. So I'm going to do that really quick. I really pray that this one works. If not, you guys still need to sublimate this design because it is gorgeous. I'll have it linked below. All right, so let's see if we can get an edge going here. So I can already tell, like I was telling you guys before, that those edges are going to want to peel. So we'll want to come back with our razor knife and clean those up if it's a success. So I'm trying to even just get this thing to peel up here. Right, so I've got that little piece there, but I'm gonna try to lay it down. And so it's kind of like trying to peel up, but let's see if everything else. All right, I'm gonna try to go, I don't know whether I should go slow or peel like a Band-Aid. So these white pieces here, these are supposed to be white. But I feel like I should go slow, that way I don't rip, because we could preserve some of that. So I'm gonna speed it up. All right, so you guys can see if I sped that up, I pulled really fast, I lost it. You can see where the color went through because of the sublimation ink. Just a little bit there, it's transparent. So you do want to take your time. But I can tell you this is rough and bumpy, but look at this. This would have been an absolutely gorgeous tumbler. So now I'm going to have to sublimate this one because it's gorgeous. Like I said, you guys have to check out Maple Dot Designs because she's so good. If you guys want an easy, seamless wrap and you want to do it the first time, check out her design. She has made them so easy for you guys. But there we go. 3 fails. I had extreme high hopes. These were my favorite. I really was hoping for these ones. And see, you did not have to waste your money. I don't want you guys wasting money on these tumblers. These things are like 10 bucks each. I'm bummed about the fails though. So we've got 3 fails. We've got some successes. So let's go ahead and press our last one. Put this design on a white piece of paper so you guys can see that pop. So we're going to be putting that design right here on this hat. I've been trying to decide whether to do the center or the side. You guys let me know in the comments below, which one did you think looks better, the center or the side? I'm gonna go with the side of the hat here, so right there. But I'm gonna go ahead and get my hat on the press first, and then I'm gonna tape it down. So to get this on the press, all you need to do is move your sweatband out of the way. We're gonna get it right up here. There's this little bar at the back, so you can, I'm gonna undo the back of my hat here, just to get it to go down. I've got my design taped down. I'm not gonna worry about a piece of parchment. And then we are gonna press. So same thing, 300 degrees for 40 seconds. Moment of truth. We're gonna carefully pop it open. And then I'm going to remove it. Same thing, it is a cold peel, so I'm gonna let it cool down. Here we go, let's peel it. Nice and easy, get my tape going here. And boom. So the hat was a success as well. Once again, this is another colored piece. So this is a purple hat. And I do have some purple in my design. So I'm a K here, as well as these couple of stars here. I'm going to show you guys really quick. So the K, as well as those pieces, are purple. And you can see that you can still see them. I think this looks amazing. And once again, it's on a colored item. So can you use the DTF hack on colored items? You guys seen that here today? Yes. You guys be the judge. Do you think it looks good on the blue t-shirt, or would you prefer to bleach it maybe out or just do a solid black design? If you guys are noticing today, this one right here was done with my inkjet printer. So this, once again, is with a normal inkjet printer that has the black ink is pigment ink. No matter what, your black ink is pigment ink. And it looks just like this. I've actually worn this shirt over and over and over again, and I have not had any sort of issues. Now, whenever it comes to the DTF hack, I get questions all of the time about the wash durability. If you use the sublimation ink, like I said, it's going to last the same as a DTF transfer. So it's going to be identical, the process, everything for the DTF transfer when it comes to washing. When it comes to the inkjet, like I said before, the colors will wash out, but a black ink like this will stay. If all of your inks are pigment ink, they will stay as well, but you will struggle to get that powder on fast enough before the ink will dry. And there you guys have it. These are the items that made it to this ultimate DTF hack test today. But if there is something that you think that could possibly be a success, for example, the wood or the canvas sign, or even like a coffee cup, any of those things that you think could possibly be a success and you want to see me put it to the test, comment down below for part 2. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button down below and subscribe. And if you guys are not a part of my fan club or besties, you guys can join right up here or down here. I believe it's up here, and become a part of the crew. Thank you so much to my fan club as well as my besties. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.